Hi, in this video we will see an overview on the data grid widget, which you can have this dashboard configured like this by going to new, load examples, and selecting the data grid widget example. Here, let's see initially the configuration, and then let's go to recreate it. The configuration is the maximum amount of items to display in the table, in this case 100, and then the columns. You can add new columns, you can sort them, you can edit them or remove them. Each column has a lot of fields, mostly of them you can leave them as default. The title is the title that will be displayed on the column. The field name, which is which field on the input event will have the content of this column. The type of the column, text for text, number for numbers. Numbers, if you can use text for numbers also, but in the case of numbers, they will be sorted correctly in the sort order you would expect for numbers. Status is an icon displaying a status image. An image is an image you can pass. We will use it for the flag of the country. URL is it will display a text that you can click to go to a URL, and timestamp is you pass a timestamp and it will format as either local date and time, local date, local time, or ISO date time. And the sort direction, data grid allows to sort by one or more columns, so you can say either non, ascending, or descending for each column. The sort priority, because it's not the same to sort first by country and then by amount than first by amount and then by country. And the text align for the column. The size proportion, you can say a column is twice as big as the other one. The numbers of the configuration, they don't have to add to anything. If you have two columns and one size proportion is 10 and the other is 5, then the column with the 10 will be twice as big as the one with 5. So you don't have to be calculated 100% or stuff like that. Value prefix, if you want to put a text before the value of the cell that you're setting, for example, we will use it to put the $sign before the amount. The suffix is to put something after. You could put the $sign after if you want, or something else. And display condition is more advanced. This we use, for example, in dashboards that we want to display data grids on small tablets or cell phones, where we want some columns to be displayed if there's enough room on the screen. So you can write a condition like in the tooltips there, min width 700 pixels. It means that if the width of the screen is less than 700 pixels, that column won't be displayed. It's advanced, you don't have to set it if you don't want to, but it's useful if you have a data grid and you want to take advantage of the size of the screen if there's available space, and if the screen is too small, then just remove some columns. So the amount of columns is quite big. I will try to recreate it, but I will see if I remember all of them. But I will just go through the important stuff. So let's go over that. Here you can see local event. It means that if I click somewhere, it will generate events and we can react to that. Check the video about template widget, which you can use to create a pop-up window displaying more details about that event whenever someone clicks on the table. And finally, how do we map from an event to the table? We can see on the data view that the only required field is called val, which is an object which has as name of the fields the names we configured on the column configuration. So if I say that, for example, the first column is the country, the title is country, and the field name is country name, then here I have to pass country name and a value. It will take the value of the column from there. And optional fields is label, which the same as other widgets. If you set the label, whenever the widget gets a new event with a label, if the label already exists on the widget, it will replace it. Otherwise, if it's not there, it will add it. You can set the background color for the whole column, for the whole row, sorry. And you can also set the label color for the whole row, or you can pass a list where each color will be set for the column on that row. For example, for the first column will be white, and for the second it will be black. The same you can do for label color. So these are all the options. Here I did a trick. Since we have to pass the val field as an object and with the names of the columns, and we on the input event we have the value field with a lot of data. I configured almost all the columns to have the same names as value, and then the only thing I do here is set val to value. So val and value now have the same content, so I don't have to do the mapping for each item. So we set the label to country name, so there will be only one row per country, and then we should do this trick of val to value, so we don't do the mapping of the columns that already have the correct names. For the image column, we use the flag URL from country code and use country code to map it. For the link, we build the title. For the link type, we need a title and a URL. The title is search and the country name, and the URL is a Google URL that will do the search for that. If we click on that link, it will take us to Google for that search. And we set the timestamp field to the timestamp that we already have on the input, which is over here. And then we, depending on the value, we set the color of the row to green and the status column to OK, error warning. Here I'm doing it twice, I don't know why. Let's remove this. And so we are setting the color of the row and the status column. OK, warning and error are 3 valid values for the status column, which will be replaced by an icon representing OK, warning, or error. So let's go and try to recreate it, at least to show all the features. Whoops. New. We will call it data grid example. And instead of the widgets, we will use the widget data grid and click create. And let's go to design. We, as usual, we will use the sample data source and event source, everything as default. We will need a transformer and the data view. The data view, since there's only one data view on this dashboard, it will pick that one up because I don't have anything to select. Let's start by adding only one column called country, and the field name will be country name. The type will be text, sort direction ascending, sort priority, let's set it to 1, text align left, size proportion 2. We want it to be twice as wide as the next one. In this case it's the first one, so there's nothing to compare to, and the prefix and suffix will be empty and display condition will be empty, so it will be displayed always. Let's click OK, and here we will do the trick I mentioned. Go to the required fields and we will map the value field that we already have to the val field. We can see on the output preview that val and value now have the same content, and since we have only one column called country name, which is over here, it will work, and we have it over here. So it's a country, the title, sorting ascending, so Australia will be first, and we are not setting labels, so you can see that New Zealand is already twice over here. So let's set the label. So we have one row per country. So again, we go to data grid, optional label, and we will set it to value that we can set country name or country code. It's the same because it's unique. So now we can clear over here, and now we should have one value per country, one row per country. Let's add the next one. Let's add amount. Let's put amount. The field name will be amount. The type will be number. As I said, it's useful because sorting will work as you would expect with numbers. Text align, let's make it center. Size proportion 1. So now country name will be twice as wide as the amount. We want to set the prefix to the $sign, and let's leave everything else empty. Since amount is already mapped by the trick we did, it will be already working. And let's continue. Let's do something a little bit more advanced. Let's leave the title empty. Let's call this field name flag, which we will have to build. The type will be image. There will be no sorting by this column, because it doesn't make sense to sort an image. Sort priority doesn't matter, because we are not sorting by that. The text alignment will be center. Size proportion will be 1, so still the country name will be twice as wide as this one. No value prefix, no value suffix, and no display conditions. So now we have to actually map the flag field, because it's not there. So what we will do is set val.flag to, we will use this at a utility function called country flag to URL, and we will get the country code from here, value.country code, and this should be working. The flag is the third one. Let's move the flag to the top, and the new events will have the flag. We can clear to have all with the flag, or wait until we get a new event for each. So now we have flag, country, amount, and let's do, and let's add a column. Let's do the time, which is useful. Let's do to local time, the local date time, which is useful. We will put it on time, on the time. Let's call this column last update. Sort priority, let's not sort by this. So sort priority won't matter. Text alignment, center. Size proportion, we want it to be twice as wide. No suffix, no prefix, no condition. Now this one will be easy. Will be set val.time to timestamp. It's already there. If you go to show input, we already have the timestamp, which is a number that represents the amount of seconds, milliseconds, since 1970. And you can see the formatting here. It's a helpful format to understand what the timestamp is. So we set the val.time to timestamp, and since we set the correct type to, well, not the correct type because we have invalidate. Let's see what's going on. We are setting val.time to it. Maybe we didn't set the correct type. It seems to be okay. Val.time to get timestamp. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's for the old ones. I have to clear. Sorry. If I clear, the new ones will have a valid date. The old ones won't, because I didn't set the time for the previous events. Sorry for having to review that, but now it's working. And let's do the formatting, the status. Let's add a status icon. Let's call it status. The field name will name it status. The type will be status. A little bit repetitive. No sorting for it. Text align, center. Size proportion 1. No prefix, no suffix, no condition. And here, let's go to logic. If the value is less than 30, 60, otherwise, we already did it on other tutorials like new sticker, where I explained a little more in detail. but it's something we tend to use for formatting. So if value that amount is less than 30, we will say that it's something dangerous. If it's less than 60, something else. For this, what we will do is we will set val.status, as we said, to a text. We can set either error, warning, or okay for it. So let's see. These are the old ones, so when it doesn't know what icon to display, it will display a question mark. We can see here that some already have green, and some have the warning, and some other will get the error. Now we will take advantage. We already have all these conditions, and if we go to log templates, well, it will be easier. We go to optional, set color, and set label color. So for error, we will set the color to red and the label color to white. For warning, let's set it to orange. And for okay, let's set it to green. This will only apply for the new ones as usual. And we already have some. Now let's do the final one, which may be useful because I think we already covered almost all the types. All the timestamps are the same. The only thing we'll change is the formatting. Let's do the URL and the image also for the flag. I think I forgot about that. URL. Let's call it. Let's leave the title empty. The field name will be search. Sort priority. We are not going to sort by it. The text align will be center, size proportion will be 2, no prefix, no suffix, no display condition. So let's go here and let's build this. So we want to set val.search to text. We need to, well, actually URL is to, it's an object, as I said earlier. It's a URL, and the other one was title. So here will be http google.com/?q equals and the country name, and the title will be search space value.country name. Let's remove the last one. And this was search. Let's see. Let's make it a little bit wider. Search. Let's see why it's not displaying. Okay, let's move to the next one. I don't remember if this was labeled. Yeah, now it seems to be working. Oh, it was working, but the columns are a little bit weird. So if I click here, you can see on the bottom left that I will be taken to Google. And let's do the flag. Oh, we already did the flag actually. The country. Let's refresh because the formatting was a little bit weird. And now it's aligned. And now actually the search was title, not URL. So as you can see, the cool thing about the Fabric is that you can explore and play with, and no error is a big catastrophe. You can just keep playing. So we have a status, we have the image, we have text, we have number, we have prefix, we have URL. And also this supports clear and filter, so if we want to say anything with a 5, or only Argentina or stuff like that, it will live filter and live update. So this was the data grid. It's a quite complex widget, but it's really powerful. And I forgot, if you drop selection event source and click on rows, you will get events there. You can react to them. I recommend you to check the template widget overview video that will explain how to display extra information about an event with a pop-up widget. And so, as I said, this is a data grid example, and it's complex but really powerful, and you can achieve a lot of stuff really easily. And if you have any doubt, which you may have, because as I said, this is a complex widget, you could see that even I had some troubles at some point. Please comment on YouTube or contact us on Twitter, Facebook, or email. I will also document on the documentation page of Fabric this in text, so you can read it, and I will add notes on the stuff I had trouble with. So see you in the next video. Bye.